and problem.
Yeah, big problem. I do think that this was like an early dinner like we all have for Christmas, which I know annoys a lot of people. Because they say they have dinner, and then they weirdly go back and have a relaxing, fun afternoon playing snowball and wizard chess and having turkey sandwiches before bed. Does your family have dinner at 2 o'clock on holidays for some weird reason?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
We're always eating.
And then at like 5 or 6, you pull out the leftovers and you have second dinner.
Yep.
So I think that's what's happening here. They just don't make it very clear to you that dinner time that we had earlier, when Hagrid was getting drunk, was actually like 2 in the afternoon. He stumbled back to his cabin and probably finished the job.
I don't know where you're coming from, but I'm always getting lit at 2 in the afternoon.
Always or always on a holiday?
On a holiday.
Okay.
Not always. Then I'm just a drunk.
Special occasion alcoholic.
Right.
Same. Family does that to you.
What are we drinking tonight, guys?
Nate and I are drinking Founders KBS.
The thing they put on the bottle is it's good for everything a flavored stout ought to be good for. And Founders makes this. It's a company right here in Grand Rapids. It's an imperial stout brewed with a massive amount of coffee and chocolates, and then cave-aged in oak bourbon barrels for an entire year to make sure wonderful bourbon undertones come through in the finish. Makes your taste buds squeal with delight.
What are you ladies drinking tonight?
Well, I'm drinking PB and Blackberry from Elk Brewing. And they just came out with this for PB and J Day on April 2nd, and it's pretty good. I don't think it really beats PB and J Lee, but it's pretty good.
I find it a little lighter, a little zingy sour on the end.
I think it's got the aftertaste more of like eating a shelled peanut, like from the circus. That's the kind of peanut flavor that I get from it.
Yeah.
So it's like a fruity start and a peanut buttery finish?
No, it's not. It's not so much as like it's not so much as like a peanut butter flavor. It's just more like a peanut flavor.
Yeah, it's
like they didn't grind it and turn it into the flavor of peanut butter rather than a flavor of a peanut.
Oh yeah.
And we're back.
So Harry's had his best Christmas ever, which if I was in a school for magic and witches and wizards, my best Christmas ever would be that Christmas too. Let's just say. But he's heading off to bed, and he decides he's going to bring the cloak back out.
It's got to be weird wearing something for the first time that you know your dad wore. Like, he's found out little bits about his dad here and there, but this is the first thing that he's actually been able to, like, this was my dad's.
Personal connection.
Yeah.
That was the first one he had, so it must have been a big deal for Harry.
He's never had any connection except Petunia.
And in true 11-year-old fashion, what does he do? Sneaks out of his room.
Right. I loved it. He was already in bed for the night. He's like, fuck it. I'm using it now.
Going to the library.
He's using it well.
Yeah.
Oh, Potter points.
So yeah, I was kind of surprised that he decided to go to the library, because there's a lot of stuff you would want to see. Another thought that I had was, take a peek on the big giant dog. Take it, not go in there. No, I would never go in there. But, just open the door and be like,
Yeah.
Does it see me?
yeah. I mean, that's a better shot than anybody else has had so far of maybe having a way past it. There are a lot of different places he could choose to go. He went to the library.
The castle's got to be creepy as fuck at this point, too, because it's, like, dark and cold.
I don't know about you guys, but when I'm at home and it's at night, I scurry. Something's going to come out and get me if I don't scurry. I'm going to run real fast. Going upstairs, I'm hustling. Knees to chest. Nothing's going to get me down there.
If I can't have a light on, then yeah, I'm moving pretty quick. It's dangerous.
It is.
Not for anyone else, me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did think it was funny, too, that he was like, I'm going to go to the restricted section. Not to, like, fuck around, but to, like, to do some actual research. Because I feel like I would probably just be interested in fucking around. And also, I feel like there's no lock at the library. and there's no lock on these restricted books, and there have to have been some evil little fucks who have come in and out of the school. I can't believe that Hogwarts has never had an incident to where they were like, maybe don't keep that stuff out.
Well, he gets in there, and he opens a book, and it screams. So maybe that's why.
Are you implying that they are all, like, enchanted to screech if you don't have permission, or just that that was bad luck?
Partly bad luck, and partly these books kind of take care of themselves on their own. Like, maybe not enchanted to do that for someone that doesn't have permission, but maybe they are all equally weird like that. And so they kind of, like, don't want to just fuck around in there.
I was going to say, I think that could be a possibility, that they're all aware of who's reading the book. In another book series me and Jade are reading, which I won't say the name of now, magical things are aware of the people using them. So a book could be aware of the person reading it, just like in this instance. Harry is not qualified to do anything with that book. So he opens it up, big alarm goes off, everybody in the area knows, hey, this dumbass is getting into some stuff he can't handle. You need to stop him. I could also see that these books are in the restricted section for a fucking reason. And that's some evil shit trying to get out of a book, and that's why it's in the restricted section. And
Right.
Harry's a dumbass either way. This is the problem I had with it. He can't even read the title. It's just a big black and silver book, and he's just like, this one looks cool, and opens it up, and then that happens. There's nothing on the book indicating that anything about Nicholas Flamel would be in there, and he's just dicking around. Again, there's another reason why they shouldn't be randomly searching through books. They should have a system of some kind.
And he hears whispering from the books before that, too. It does kind of imply that there is maybe a certain level of, like, knowledge inside the books, being like, there's a dude out there.
In all horror movies, that is a bad sign.
Right. Creepy whispering.
Definitely a dark element.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He runs past Filch. It's a very quick thing, like, it's no big deal. I feel like if you were running past somebody that, like, wildly, you wouldn't be able to be so sneaky about it. You know what I mean? If you had just been startled by a screaming book and fallen backwards over your lamp, my invisibility cloak would be flapping, and I would be being a lot more noisy and, like, stomping. You know what I mean? Like a very sloppy person, just all over the place.
He doesn't know where he's going and sees this suit of armor. Goes a little bit further. There's the first door he sees, and he bursts into it. Looks like it's set up half empty.
Everything was set in there as if it was set aside for now.
It was like a storage room.
Yeah.
It did kind of allude to the fact that the mirror was kind of a centerpiece in this room of shit that was put aside for now.
It looked out of place.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And he just happens to stumble across it, dodging Filch, and then Snape.
Snape asked him to tell him if somebody's out of bed.
Right. Snape wants to be informed about the goings-on around the school, and I thought that highly suspect. I know he's a teacher, so I know he has to be informed. If students are breaking the rules, he has a right to know about it. But that he's asking Filch and Mrs. Norris, by proxy, to do his dirty work and keep an eye on the kids and let him specifically know and deal with it, screams foul play. We know he's super biased with students in his own house.
He wants to be, like, on scene immediately, like, before, like, McGonagall or Dumbledore even, who are, like, headmaster and deputy headmistress, so you think that they would be the ones.
Right. Yeah, he wants to be there first, and we know he's not fair. So he wants to be there first so he can probably take points away like we've already seen him do in this chapter, and then just have it be done with, no, I handled it. I think it's probably for the House Cup thing.
Snape was wandering the corridors himself, which is a little weird. He was just, like, walking around.
It made me think of something. Harry is trying this thing for the first time tonight, and he's sneaking into the library, and he's looking at shit he's not supposed to look at, and he doesn't really know what its capabilities are. He showed another 11-year-old kid his cloak that made him disappear. And he was like, yep, you're invisible. But he doesn't fucking know if, say, Snape is able to tell that there's a person there with magic. He has no clue.
Going on what Jade was saying, that it was weird Snape was wandering the hallway and everything. There's nothing so far in this book that has indicated that there is a way of communication other than owls. Is there another way to, like, put your wand up to your throat and talk to who you want to talk to? Or have some, is there some other
like
form
walkie-talkie style?
Yeah, like walkie wand style.
That would be fucking cool. Like, no lie.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
You know what I mean? The military have it to where their walkie-talkies sit on their throat. So they're talking through their throat here.
They can't see your hand.
Well,
I'm telling you guys. Thank you.
well, later in the series, we find out more about different ways of communication.
Oh, okay.
Because there definitely are, but none that we know of right
Soon
now.
to be.
Yeah.
So, Harry makes his escape away from Snape. And I just wanted to make a quick point. The last time he was trying to run away from somebody, and he snuck into a room real quick,
Right?
there was a giant-ass dog in there.
Right?
With
and he
3
about
heads.
died. Right, with 3 fucking heads. What the hell is he doing? I would have rather gotten caught this time than do what Harry did just there. For real, I would have been like, gigs up, man. I'm not going into another room with something like that could be behind
What
door
if it was
number
a
2.
three-headed cat, though?
Like a regular-sized cat?
I
Or
don't
like
know.
a giant one?
Just a joke.
It
Bad
makes a
joke,
difference, though. No, I mean, if it's a regular 3-headed cat, that might be cool. If it's a giant one, I'm fucking out. Cats are mean.
So we see the mirror for the first time, and it looks similar to ours, except...
There's no claw feet.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no claw feet
Yes.
on my mirror. So that's a little depressing because I love some claw feet.
I did not know that.
My grandma, as a matter of fact, has a old buffet from, like, it's super, super, super old, but it's got gargoyled feet holding a ball, and that's what the 4 feet are for it. It's made out of solid wood. It's super old.
Really badass looking.
Yeah, it's got like it's got carvings of like eagles and shit on the doors.
See, clawed feet are always a good indicator. I'm just saying. This is a good mirror.
Yes.
That's how you know.
Very classy.
So the mirror in the book would be similar to something like that with the clawed feet.
The mirror has an inscription. Does anyone want to take the inscription?
I'll take the inscription.
He looked it up.
Go ahead.
The inscription on the mirror says, Erised stra eru oit ub kafru oit an wosi. Which,
Yeah.
thank you, when read backwards as if in a mirror, reads, I show not your face, but your heart's desire.
I'm hoping that more of our listeners out there are just as like mind blown as I was.
I have no idea.
Did not even get that. It's very cool.
One of my favorite things when I was younger was the riddles that you found in Harry Potter. Like, I wrote this out and spent a lot of time trying to figure out what this was.
There are other riddles like this.
There's some things.
All right, I gotcha. Let's
Yeah.
start looking.
That was one of my favorite things to do because I was a nerd.
100% honesty. When I was listening to the story just before we started today, I was looking at how all of the Weasleys always get a sweater with their initials on it or their name. So I kind of like was putting together all of their first initials of all of the kids in the Weasley family just to see if it would spell out something weird or something, just because it makes it a point that they get a sweater every single year.
Illuminati confirmed.
Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. It was just a thought, and then bam, you throw that. Look, this is backwards. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it wrecked my brain pretty good when Jade, because she just mentions stuff to me in passing. I started reading the books because I was always giving her hell for reading the books, and she challenged me to read a chapter, and eventually I read the whole series, and I changed my mind. I like it. During this whole process, I'm reading this first book, and I'm talking to her about what I think the Mirror of Erised does before I read what it does.